Hello friends, welcome to Nadia's Crafty Corner. Today we are going to beautify my front door, and the star of the show is our beautiful ladybug and daisy wreath made with all this beautiful mesh and ribbon, and of course our adorable handcrafted ladybug. You can find it on my website nadiascrafts.com. So this is what we're going to start with. Our pretty ladybug. We have a couple of different versions, and both of them are made from recycled old denim. Yes, you heard correctly. We also made some pretty butterflies because, of course, ladybugs, butterflies, bumblebees, they all go together. We are going to use a beautiful work form that starts at 15 inches wide. Many friends on Facebook during this live asked me how I choose a base for my wreath. And honestly, friends, if I'm doing just a mesh and ribbon wreath, then I will use a work form because I don't have a problem. I don't have to glue anything in, because you want to make sure that once you glue your stuff in your wreath, it stays. So for this wreath, we are going to use 21-inch mesh, which is very sparkly, just the way I like it. And we are going to use it just as is in its own entirety. And I'm going to show you, bringing the camera down, how we're going to put it on our very pretty wreath frame. Well, maybe not so pretty right now, but it will be as soon as we start working on it. We're also going to use some red stripe border mesh that I'm going to give you all the measurements. We're going to put them all together. We are going to use some pretty yellow fabric mesh. So let's get started with our white mesh. I like to bring my roll to the floor, and I like to bunch it on top, making sure that it's even. And if it's not, we're just going to give it a quick haircut and make it all nice and even. I also like to make sure that all the factory edges on the side of the mesh are going underneath my poofs. That kind of helps a lot during the construction. I like to start from the inner ring of the board, which is the taller one. It's a little raised in this case. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you push your mesh all the way down as far and close as you can to the ring. And then you want to go ahead and tie it. You don't need to twist too many times because we are going to go back with lots more elements. These poofs, I'm going to do them 10 inches because I really want those poofs pronounced. I want this wreath to be large, and the white one is shiny, so I really want that to show. So you're going to keep doing that. Push against the ring, twist it. You see how much quick and easier it is to work with the poofs once the factory edges are already folded below. So you're just going to keep on going. Make your 10-inch poofs all the way around on the top ring of your wreath. And as we go around, I do like to fluff a little bit, although it's very minimal, the fluffing you have to do once you keep on going with the factory edges underneath your poofs. So just go ahead, make your 10-inch poofs all the way around until you get to the end. Now that we got to our last loop, what I like to do is I like to find the closest tie that I have going toward the lower ring. And I just like to make a straight, go ahead and put it right into your ties. And now for the lower ring, we are going to make 12-inch loops, and we're going to do that all around. Always making sure that your factory edges are inside your poofs. That way it just looks neater and it's less fluffing to do. For some, those of us like me, they're always in a rush. Some things are just going nicely and fast. Once you get to the end, you can just go ahead and cut off. I usually leave like maybe 2 to 3 inches. What I'm explaining here to my audience, because there was a question, if you don't like the opening in the center, you can keep going with more mesh one more time around. However, because I'm going to make so many poofs with other mesh, it's not necessary in this case. We are going to start with my yellow, and we are cutting it about 25 to 26 inches long. Just a simple straight cut. You're going to keep it with the curl side up, just like I'm doing, holding it with something if it helps. Roll it in 3 to 4 times. And I usually like to clip it. However, it seems like I can't find a clip. Oops, I found something. No, I guess not. There we go. All right. Hey, that's what happens. It's real TV. This was on live on Facebook. So roll it in 3 to 4 times, turn it around. You do the same thing on the other side. You leave about maybe 6 to 8 inches in the center. And once you have that, you can just walk the 2 rolls together. And you get this very pretty bow tie that we're going to start inserting into our wreath. Our yellow is going on the top part. So we're going to repeat our cruffle, 26 inches, curl it up, and we're going to repeat that for all the ties that we have on the top of our wreath. And again, friends, don't tie it too close because we have still not done adding more elements. So finish off your pretty yellow or whatever color you might choose. Maybe you have a different color in mind. Because I'm decorating my front door, I just went with red, white, and yellow. We are going to fold our red cruffles the same way we folded our yellow one. And we're going to go around and do all the ties that we have on the bottom of our wreath. And just go ahead and insert your cruffles all the way in. Push it down as much as you can. You can open it up a little bit to spread the color around. So you're going to continue filling all the red cruffles on the lower ring, the lower section of your wreath until you're all done. And look how all pretty those colors all look together. I'm just in love. And if you saw the pictures that I posted at the beginning, it just goes with the whole front door. Now it's time for our pretty tails. And I'm staying with my ladybug and daisy theme and some polka dots because of course it's just too pretty together. So what we like to do is we are going to overlap them. I use a 2.5 inch and a 1.5 inch. Fold them in half so we know where the half is. And then what we like to do is we like to scrunch it in the center and form like a V shape that we're going to insert into our red or lower ring mesh. At this point, we are done and we can finally kind of try to hide our ties. I was about to say zip ties, but they're not zip ties. So you want to go ahead and continue the same way. Put the 2 ribbons together, fold it in half, scrunch it in the center, and then go ahead and insert them in all your bottom lower ring poofs. So once you're sure that all your tails are in, you want to go back and just fluff them a little bit, making sure that the patterns are the way you want them to be. I like to alternate. So I like to have a polka dot and a ladybug, a polka dot and a ladybug. So I'm going to go around and do that to all my tails, just because it's also nicer to spread them around and show all those pretty ribbon tails. So use your fingers as scissors almost and curl those pretty tails out. And you want to do that all around. And now that we have fluffed all our tails, comes time for our pretty bow. And my bow in this case is made out of leftover ribbons that I just had laying around my shop, and I didn't want to necessarily waste it. So I am doing 2 loops for each ribbon. So I'm going to measure out my tail, and this bow, every ribbon that I'm using is going to have 1 long tail, 2 loops, and 1 short tail. As you can see right there, 1 long tail, 2 loops, 1 short tail. And that's the same thing that I'm doing for every ribbon that I will be adding from now on. Now our wreath is very fluffy with all the mesh that we have added. So I want my bow to be kind of juicy. I want lots of ribbon in that bow, and I want to make sure that it shows through my beautiful mesh. Every loop that I'm making is 1 inch shorter than the one below. And of course, a little glitz in there, friends. Please go and visit my other tutorials. I do have a tutorial on how to make bows, and I also have a whole episode on Pinterest on how to make bows. Imagine that. So go and check it out, Nadia's Crafty Corner on Pinterest. I'm going to add my last little touch of polka dots on my bow. And I'm going to zip tie the whole thing together. However, before I pull too close to my zip tie, I'm going to insert some pipe cleaners. That way I have something to attach my bow to my wreath. Make sure your zip tie is secure, and now we can fluff it up, and look how pretty it shows on our wreath. We're going to fluff it because we're crafters. We like to fluff. And now here comes the star of the show. Our beautiful ladybug. Isn't she pretty? Friends, we have lots of wreath attachments that we offer. We have the attachments and the tutorials if you want to learn how to make it. So come and visit nadiascrafts.com. And all our attachments come with very long wire in the back so that we can very well secure it. And my ladybug is going to stay with me. She ain't going to fly nowhere. So now you can go ahead and fluff all your mesh. Make sure you pull it up, that it's not hitting on the back of your wreath. Bring your tails out and check around to make sure that your pipe cleaners are not showing. And there she is, my big, beautiful ladybug and daisy bow. Make sure you check out all our other free tutorials because we love to spread the love for crafting, and we would love for you to subscribe to our channel so that you can always follow all the pretty designs that we are going to make. And remember, oh, there she is, my beautiful front door. See you guys soon.